Our whole goal is to impact the lives of our employees and invest in people. Take something that changed my life and show it to the people. Look how awesome this is. Like, this can change your life. I've been where you are. I couldn't afford to go to dinner with my girlfriend, or I couldn't afford
Game
that nice
7 of the
apartment.
World Series.
Right. Like, I wanted
How
to
much
do
were those
those
tickets?
I think they're like $4,000 pop or something.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Dang, $4,000 for a baseball
but-
ticket. Roofers don't make money. I've got a special guest for everybody. A guy's grown his business to $30 million a year in its fourth year in business.
It'll be 5 years in January.
Oh, 5 years. Out of Virginia, Joshua Durgee. Welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom, man.
Thanks for having me, dude.
Yeah, man. So tell us a little bit about, your story, where you got started.
Yeah, so I followed the same path that most millennials took, right? Go to college, and then realized that I was going to have $100,000 I had to pay back when I got out. So I started looking for jobs, and I realized that the jobs that I wanted, which was supposed to be in professional sports, were going to pay $40,000, $50,000 a year, and that wasn't going to allow me to pay my $100,000 student loan back. So
Would you want to be a sports agent?
I didn't really have anything in particular. I just wanted to be in pro sports.
Right.
That's what I wanted. And I found out the only people that make money in pro sports are the athletes. Right?
Well, you go to college, you get a good job, you go hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt.
Yep.
And now what happens? Isn't that you experience this?
Yeah, man, there's a box that most people are living in society. The box of go to college, get a job, get a mortgage, pay your bills, right? And like, that's supposed to be the secret for happiness and financial freedom. And if that was true, then like, why do so many people hate where they work and hate their life, right? And like, there's a study that came out recently that said it said something along the lines of the most suicides are committed Monday mornings between 6 and 8 a.m. So we're literally killing ourselves for a job, for a system that's supposed to make us happy.
Our society doesn't really celebrate entrepreneurship the way it should, man. Did you learn anything that has helped you get to $30 million in high school and college? Like, what lessons did you learn in the education system that helped you get to where you're at?
Yeah, I think that it was just I got tired of not being able to do what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
There's things I want to do. There's trips I want to go on. There's people I wanted to help. There's things I want to do in my own life that I just wasn't able to do. And I just got tired of it. And I decided that, if I failed, then so be it. But I was going to make a change to start working my way towards being able to do that stuff. And, here we are 4 years later. It's just a commitment to excellence and hard work.
So so most roofing companies, they do less than $1 million in sales. Y'all are in the top 30 of all roofing companies in America. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to figure out.
Cool to say.
I know, man. It's pretty freaking.
Never
badass.
thought I'd say that.
No, it's awesome, dude. But you're gonna be the biggest. I mean, you are on a track to keep growing. And what do you think it is? What's the secret sauce? I mean, what do you think differentiates you? What do y'all do? Like, talk to me about your business model.
I think most businesses, they're doing it. They're in business for the wrong reasons. They're chasing the money,
mm-hmm.
right? And like, our whole goal is to impact the lives of our employees and invest in people, and like, take something that changed my life and show it to the people that are now around me, and our employees and our potential employees. But look how awesome this is. Like, this can change your life. I've been where you are. I couldn't afford to, go to dinner with my girlfriend. I wanted to be able to do these things, and it just got so sick of it that, it's been a grind from here. And the secret sauce is taking that experience that changed my life and showing it to other people and getting them invested and watching how their life changes.
An average guy comes in, he's successful. How
Mm-hmm.
much is he making? What are some of your top performers making? And what do you think somebody that's listening to this podcast and is thinking, like, what do you think they could expect if they came in and worked hard and had a good attitude?
Right. So I always say, like, give us a year,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if this isn't the one thing that makes the biggest change in your life moving forward, whether you stay with us for 20 years or you stay with us for a year and leave and take what you learned to do something else, give us a year. And in that year, if you listen to the things that we say and don't learn from your own mistakes, you learn from the mistakes that we've already made for you. Like, you can fast track yourself to $200,000, $300,000 a year pretty quickly.
You have $400,000 earners in your company?
Yep.
Oh my God, how hard did they work?
They definitely wanted to change their life. I'll put it that way. They just got sick of the rat race. Got sick of being stuck.
At $400,000, you're earning more than the top 1%.
I know. That's awesome, man. It's so cool. Like, that's the best part about this is like getting to change other people's lives, watching what it did for me, and then taking that and passing on to the next person and making an impact.
You never thought at going to college that you would be a roofer.
No, man. No, I don't think anybody is. Like, the industry kind of finds you, right?
Right.
You know, and I think that, like, at least the people that I know, like, the industry found them because they just got so sick of that box that society lives in.
That right there is a absolute, I mean, he has a process. He has a roof in a bag, and he really builds value with your sales team. Talk to us about when you train somebody, you know, what that process looks like. And talk to me a little bit about your roof in the bag and the value building.
Right. So training starts in the office every day for the first 90 days, right? So we're trying to get those guys bought into the culture. We're trying to get them become masters of the industry, especially if they don't have any experience, right? That's actually our favorite guy because we can kind of mold them and they don't have all the bad habits from some of our competition, right? And then with the bag on a retail deal, it's problem solution selling, right? So for those of you that do storm work, sometimes you don't have drip edge on an estimate, and pulling out a piece of drip edge and a small cutout of plywood and explaining the purpose of it, and then selling that to the homeowner, or if it's a retail deal, showing what the competitor shingle is like and actually handing it to them, and then handing them the shingle that we use and letting them actually hold it and feel it. You know, Apple did studies that said if a customer comes into one of the Apple stores and picks up a product 3 times, they'll buy it. So our whole goal is the entire pitch to have pieces of the roof that we're handing to the customer so they can actually feel the product. Because, you know, most guys come in and say, here's my number, and then, you know, they get undercut by somebody else because they didn't stack value in it. They don't know how to build value in what they're doing. And the customer doesn't understand that this guy is going to do it the right way and this guy's going to do it the wrong way. All they see is price because nobody's educating them.
See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. We're going to flip our collars. That was a collar flipping moment. We are taking Steve Jobs' approach to the roofing business. And that's actually the title of this being Blue Collar Boardroom. You think of the blue collar as the working class working with his hands, but you don't have to be like that. You can apply Steve Jobs type principles in your sales process to create millions of dollars in opportunity. And so, Josh, where are you located at?
So we have an office in Virginia. We service Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. So we're in and around the DC market and then in and around the Philadelphia market.
And, you know, there's a lot of people out here listening to this that just can only imagine themselves 5 years in business with a $30 million company, man. And I just want to tell you, like, you know, you're helping raising the status for all, you know, working class Americans and giving people hope that, you know, even if they're desperate, sick and tired of listening to some bullshit lie that their college was the answer or that their corporate America was the answer, that you can drop what you're doing, change the direction of your life. And I'd ask you before this podcast, like, you know, were you like hesitant about becoming a roofer? Were you scared about it? Were you like feeling down about becoming a roofer after you graduated college? Was that something that went through your mind?
Yeah, of course. You know, you go into school and you think you're coming out to work in pro sports and make all this money and, you know, have a cool job. And then, you know, in the eyes of society, that's cool. But roofing isn't looked upon the same way, right? Like, I don't think any of us tell our friends that we're a roofer and like, oh shit, tell me more, you know?
Yeah.
So I think, like, you're a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk. He says it really well. Like, just stop caring what other people think.
Right.
You know, like, if you're trying to get to a certain level, like you talk about with being in the 1%, you have to do the opposite of the masses, right? Look what everyone else is doing. They all want to, in this example, they all want to work in sports. They all want to get the 9 to 5. They want to work in tech. They want to make a new app. And just look what everyone else is doing. Look what the 99% are doing and go the other way. And that's what we're doing.
One of the first really effective ads one of our clients was able to duplicate was an ad you shot. You did a roof for free, a Habitat for Humanity job. And instead of just like paying crew to go do it, what'd you do?
Yeah, so one of our core values and our beliefs is making an impact for our customers, our employees, and our community. And we wanted to give back, but I wanted an opportunity to teach our guys more about roofing. A lot of the sales guys, they've never actually been, you know, had to be an installer for a long period of time, right?
They don't do the roofs, they sell the roofs.
Right. Like when we say we're in roofing, like we're not up there with a hammer and nails, like we're just selling the project. But those those moments I think are like the reason that we do this. That family that we did that roof for with Habitat for Humanity, it was a family of 4, and they were, prior to that house being built, the husband and wife were sleeping in a one bed. It was a studio apartment, and the 2 kids, which were like 10 and 14, their bedroom was in their parents' closet.
Oh my God.
And like the fact that we're able to go out and make an impact on those people's lives and really like
be a
you
part
know, just
of that.
completely change, you know, the way that they live, that's why we do this.
Really excited to see what's going to happen with SmartRoof and this year's growth. Last year went from 16 million to 30 million dollars. And what I'm like blown away by is your efficiency, bro. How many sales guys you got? What's the average? How much is your average guy making?
So we got 32 sales guys between the DC market and the Philadelphia market. The average guy is making about 120,000 average, and that includes guys that, you know, have only been there for 6 months.
Well, you already said some of your top guys are making close to $400,000.
Yeah, and there's guys that are on pace to make more than that this year. Yeah.
Well, that's incredible. If we're gonna go from 16 to 30 million next year, the pressure's on us to go from 30 to 60 million.
Exactly.
And so
right.
you're gonna need more locations. You're gonna need more people.
We're gonna need a lot more people, a lot more high caliber people that are committed to changing their life. Not just like I kind of want to do it, but there is no other option, right? If you're that person, we have a vehicle for you to get there.
Yeah, so if you're a top performer, if you're in the Northeast, if you want to talk with Josh, even if you just want some mentorship, some help, you know, he's happy to reach out to you. Just, you know, reach out to him, find him on the internet. He's on Facebook.